And today the subject for discussion we have kept purposely the violence against women and domestic violence. Why many Shraddhas get stuck in toxic relationship. Let us have a meaningful session. Yes, Dada.
Yeah,
One clap to keep things rolling. Yeah, thank you.
no problem. Thank you. Thank you. As per the caption of today's discussion, violence against women and domestic violence. So you have briefly and nicely covered the domestic violence part. That's a very crucial part. But let us have the broader spectrum view as the subject suggests, violence against women. Now, the first thing that you referred, Dada, is violence in a private space. There's a concept of space. So, private space means families, intimate relations, and other people. Secondly, at workplaces, workstations, the violence takes different forms. May take a very brutal form, may take a very sophisticated form, and then then there is a guarded space like schools, shelter homes, let me add churches, etc. So, and finally is the public space, like a woman traveling in a bus, a woman traveling in a train, or traveling anywhere, on a highway. So these are four very critical and important dimensions of places where violence occurs and has occurred. Now, let me start with the most important part, which Dada, you have rightly covered, private space, violence in private space. As you rightly said, about 23% of the women have suffered. The National Family Health Survey says it very clearly, and it has brought out many gruesome facts, I should say, about this. Now, at home, there is, of course, the Shraddha case, but let me refresh your memory of July 1995, the famous Tandoor murder case of Delhi, where Mr. Sharma, had chopped his wife into pieces and was, roasting the pieces in a tandoor in a restaurant near Bangla Sahib, near Gol Daghar at Connaught Place. And suddenly he was some beat constable smelled it, and the whole case was bugged out. I think a few months back, he has come out of prison after, I think, 20 years of imprisonment. Mr. Sharma was a Congress leader. It was just a chance. He did not commit this crime as a Congress leader. I'm not pointing out that. Yeah. Now, of course, and in between only 2 days back, I was going through a newspaper. So I saw that, I think in Gurgaon itself, a drug addict who was refused money killed his mother and grandmother. And only, I think, a couple of days back, there was an appeal which was dismissed by the court, in which father was convicted of rape of a minor daughter. Many such cases have taken place all across the world, where courts have observed like fence is eating the crop. Court has observed things like father is the fortress of daughter, and what is this happening? Court has also observed that protectors of girls have become predators. These are the comments of court in such intimate violence and murder cases. Now, even it's very interesting to note and learn that during the pandemic, domestic violence cases have gone up critically and substantially all across the world. The surveys have been done in India, as the National Commission for Women says, the report says that it has already registered even in 2022, as late as this year, 7,348 cases of domestic violence. 1734 cases of complaints of violence, out of which about 5,600 are regarding right to live with dignity. That is, could be psychological violence, emotional violence, financial abuse. And second is domestic violence. There have been 3,792 complaints in 2022. But in the pandemic, as many psychologists and sociologists have analyzed, due to loss of jobs, job insecurity, increased alcoholism in the house, within the house, number of factors, and all around, this fear, fear and stress. Number of factors have contributed to this private space violence with women. Now, work station, this is very important. And the watershed case in India, as some of the lawyers present may appreciate, was the year 1972, exactly 50 years back, when a tribal, lady of Rajasthan, Bhauri Devi, was raped in a police station. It was a case of Maharashtra, I'm sorry, of Mathura police station of Maharashtra. She was raped by two constables. So, and this was a watershed case because this resulted in Vishakha case judgment, which changed the many important guidelines about women, how to deal with women. So one guideline was that women cannot be called by a thana after sunset and before sunrise. These are the observations of the apex court, which has been followed after that. Secondly, the onus of the burden of proof, the onus of proof lies on the perpetrator of crime and not on the woman. So it has been reversed. The perpetrator has to say that, no, I'm not guilty. So this was another major judgment which changed the legal course of as far as laws against women were concerned. But the most critical case took place in public space, the case of December 2012 Nirbhaya case, as we all know, which led to the formation of Justice Verma Committee, and ultimately the Criminal Law Amendment Act was brought about in 2013. So this was a paradigm shift because it redefined many, offenses against women, like it brought in stalking and voyeurism. It made it a punishable offense up to 7 years. It made police and hospital authorities can be punished up to 2 years for non-registration of such cases. Police and hospital authorities are punished, can be punished. Acid attack is defined as an offense. Acid attack, this was added, 7 years imprisonment was provided. And, so these two watershed cases, they define this violence in private space, work space, public space. And now let's move to the guarded space. A very famous case of Bihar, of Muzaffarpur in Bihar, of shelter home, where, a children's home run by Seva Sankalp Evam Vikas Samiti, they kept on abusing girls of 7 to 17 years in shelter homes. The main accused was Brijesh Kumar Thakur. He has recently been convicted, only, I think, last month. The medical report said that at least 34 girls were raped by Thakur and 18 others in charge and coming to the shelter home Muzaffarpur. And the administration was so tough that the shelter home was demolished by the district magistrate only, I think, a couple of weeks ago. So, Apex Court has also now observed about the role of electronic and print media in sensationalizing the whole case. Like we were discussing right now, Shraddha case. Now it is being like shown as a serial. So that should be avoided because, as if we must have read that Aftab, the only accused of Shraddha case, has said that he saw a film, Drishyam, and then based on the clues given by the film Drishyam, he tried to wipe out the evidences that were there in the process of assassination, murder of Shraddha. So here also the role of a film and, highlighting such things, has to be examined. The role of media, trying to, adopt the formula that all that sells is news. So this is the definition that is given by, I'm sorry to say, the Institute of Mass Communication, Delhi. My niece was studying there. So on the, I think, inaugural day, this was the definition of news given by a very senior faculty member there, that all that sells is news. So if this is the level of commercialization of media, so things have to go in that wrong direction. Now, this is one aspect of space. Now, let's move to the root causes. As Dada, you rightly said, we have to find out the root causes. Now, if it is not only news that is on sale, everything is up for sale. The whole world has been turned into a market. Now, I want to re-emphasize the role of a capitalistic society in this, but everybody can understand this. Or long back, there is a famous Nazm of Majrooh Sultanpuri, for which he was critically acclaimed, which says, "Hum hai matae kucha o bazar ki tarah, urti hai har nigah kharidar ki tarah." We are like merchandise in a congested lane of a market, and everybody looks upon us as a buyer. You know, this was the observation of a main lady protagonist of that particular movie in which that song came. But this Nazm is really, you know, an eye-opener Nazm. So this is one area, you know, how we have tried to commercialize everything. And what is the root? What is at the root? Idealization of human body. Now, this has to be understood. Idealization of human body. You know, before the advertisement industry came, this was not there. This was not done. Now, we can see on TV, every small product, whether it is used by boys, men, girls, mostly they are advertised by women. Why? And women clad in a scanty dress. So, and because there is a huge money that is involved. Now, let's see the global fashion industry. The global fashion industry is valued at $1.7 trillion. $1.7 trillion. And it has a growth rate annual of 6% annually. This is the way fashion industry is. And we know what fashion industry does. Cosmetic industry. You know, these are the two main industries which, you know, idealize human body, especially woman's body. So cosmetic industry has a turnover of 170 billion US dollars. And Asia Pacific, that is where India is located, accounts for 43% of the global market of cosmetics. 43, half the global market of cosmetics is covered by Asian Pacific countries, including India. So this is one critical dimension that, you know, for selling everything in the market, woman as a symbol is being used. This is an attitude which, unless it is changed, you know, and this provokes things, such postures, such photographs, you know, these are provocations for criminals. And as Baba had said, there are 5 types of criminals. So environment also creates criminals in this situation. I'm talking of the environmental, of the ecology, which creates criminals and generates a large number of criminals. The whole society is like that. And of course, the financial dependence of women has been a major factor, right from for thousands of years. Baba has called it psychoeconomic exploitation. So we have to look into those areas where the basic problem is, and finally the basic problem is of male hegemony, the patriarchy. Now this patriarchy is being questioned everywhere in the world, but the roots of patriarchy is so strong, the cultural tradition is so old that it is difficult to get rid of this or to find a balance somewhere between patriarchy and matriarchy. In India, in pockets of Assam, Tripura, Kerala, we have, you know, traces of matriarchy. That was the old, Aryans brought patriarchy, and the indigenous population of India, Austrico-Mongoloids and Negroids, they were basically, they believed in matriarchal system. Anyways, so this conflict between patriarchy and matriarchy taking a back seat, getting defeated every time. It further establishes male ego, male hegemony, male superiority. So male, somehow there is a masculine temper, I think, which believes that I'm here to dominate a woman, be it my daughter, be it my wife, be it my mother. I must guide her. And Manu in his Manu Smriti, great third chapter, ninth shlok, which has been quoted thousands of times across the globe. When he said that in a childhood, daughter should be protected by a father, then by a brother, then by husband, and when she becomes a mother, by son. But then the last clause template that he uses in that shlok, that they do not deserve independence. This is Manu Smriti, 3.9. So, so the whole mindset was made like that, and the country and the whole world developed on those. Two more things. I'll take 2 more minutes. One is, what happened due to this mindset, patriarchal mindset, the process of rationalization of violence takes place. Women keep on rationalizing. Yes, it's fine if my husband beats me. Some people may say, no, it is not correct. Let me put it on, put the record straight. 4th survey of National Family Health, National Family Health Survey reported of India, reported that 52% of women respondents felt it reasonable for their husband to hit his wife. This is Indian society. In 2015-16, half the women population of this country said, it is justified if I am beaten by my husband. Their next survey, that is the present survey about which Ranjit Dada was referring to, 5th survey of 2021, brought the percentage down to 42. But still, 4 out of 10 women believe that it is reasonable that the husband assaults, and they also stated the reasons. Okay, the survey showed that women disrespecting the in-laws can be beaten, and the most justifiable reason to get hit by their husband was, of course, marital infidelity and lack of obedience towards in-laws. These are report of the family surveys. I am not adding anything or subtracting anything. So this is what we call rationalization of violence in the mind of women. They accept it. Like Dada rightly raised, why Shraddha lived with this toxic relationship despite clear advice by parents. She wrote a letter to police people, also to Thana, that I may be chopped into pieces and I may be slaughtered. Despite that, she continued, so that is rationalization of violence somewhere in the mind. And second is the bigger thing and the bigger problem, socialization of violence. Now, what we call socialization, when a daughter grows in a family, if the father is beating the mother, she is watching this, observing this from the childhood days. Now, this is the whole thing is getting socialized. Now, when she will become a mother, she will become a wife, she will remember that my father had beaten my my mother dozens of times. So if I am beaten twice, no problem, So this is socializes, rationalization of violence and socialization of violence. These are at the root of problems. Women are also partly accountable for this tolerance. This should not be justified. So these are where my few ideas.